Hello, so this is my cream foundation routine. So I will be priming in the same way and using the cream foundation and then setting it with a bit of powder. So as always, I need to put my thick primer into the pores. And because this is, yellow, caught my nose there. Because this is yellow, it helps to cancel out some of the redness. And if I am having a particularly red day, some large pores there. If I'm having a particularly red day, then I will put this onto the red bits. I use my eye primer around my eye. So do this really lightly. You don't want to put too much pressure on your skin. And then the primer for everywhere else. So you get a nice smooth canvas for your makeup to sit comfortably on. So it should go on looking nice and smooth. It helps it to last well. If you're going for a long shift or a night out, you're going to be out for hours, you want your makeup to last. Right, so now the cream foundation, I use Scarlet, so I'm very pale, and Scarlet is my shade. Now you need a damp beauty blender, so squeeze it, run it under the water, squeeze it, give it a really good squeeze, and then squeeze it with a towel. You don't want it to be wet. You want to be able to squeeze it really hard and nothing come out, just to be damp. Damp enough so it's nice and soft and that you're not going to lose any more product than absolutely necessary into the sponge. So you just start loading it up. And this is a fairly medium coverage. It's really buildable. And this is what I would recommend for people with dry skin. The liquid one dries to a powdery finish and that will just cling to any dry patches, whereas this doesn't. This is a really nice creamy cream foundation, and it's really suitable for dry skin. This is what I wear when I'm dry. So you just start dabbing it on nice and gently. And this can be a little bit longer and I suppose feel a bit tedious compared to the liquid foundation. But it's worth it, and I like to build it up slowly. I do really like this. It feels nice and light as well. People who have bought this off me have absolutely loved it. And again, on the areas of large pores, for me it's my nose, where you've put that primer, even if you're using a brush, where you've put primer to fill large pores, always dab your makeup on, because you don't want to move that primer and ruin, you know, the effect that that will have. You don't want to move that primer out of the pores so that your makeup goes funny over that area of large pores. So as I say, this is really buildable. You can just have a one thin layer if you're having a fairly laid back day. You just keep going and put some more on. I'm going to put a bit more on my cheeks. A little bit red. I'm looking to the side, that's where my mirror is. these have mirrors in. They're really sturdy packaging. All of the Younique stuff is really sturdy packaging, which is great. There's nothing worse than when you find a product that you've spent some money on, especially if it's a product that you've treated yourself to, and then you have it in your handbag and it breaks or opens. Oh, that's annoying. These do come with a little sponge, but these are better, and you can get, you know, right into the creases and the crevices. And then again, as always, this is just such a good primer, concealer. And it works really well with all of the 3 foundations, so the BB cream, cream and liquid. Again, you only need a tiny bit. So I'm concealing over the bags, but also what is a problem is, I don't know if you can see, but it sort of goes a bit sunken here, especially if you've got quite chubby cheeks. So even if you have no discoloration, you will look like you've got bags because of the shadow that, you know, the plumpness here creates. So you want to conceal over any discoloration and over any areas that will be a bit shaded. Oh, someone's having a cry. All right, Jeff. And so I always go right up there and bring it down and then up here. So I'm covering the areas of discoloration and the areas of natural shading. Another little trick with concealer is to bring it up here as well, and that helps just to lift the eye, especially if you've got hooded eyes or quite creased skin around here or quite prominent wrinkles. So you've done your V here, and then you bring it up, and that just helps to lift and highlight the whole area. Jeff's not very happy. You can either use your finger or your sponge. I don't like to use a damp sponge on such a thick concealer, but this is very, very, it's only just damp, it's almost dry. Normally I'll just use my finger. Particularly when I've used the liquid foundation, as I say, that dries to a powdery finish, so I don't want anything damp anywhere near that. Use a dry sponge over the top of that. Right, so there we go. And then the last step is the pressed powder, just a light dusting to set it in place. So for this, again, I don't use the little sponge that comes with it. I use my own. It's a bit better really. And one thing to note with these is that the powders seem to be a little bit lighter than the, say, I use the Scarlet liquid, cream, everything, but the Scarlet powder was too pale, and likewise with the people who have a different colour skin tone, they often find that if they get the pressed powder in the same shade, it's a little bit lighter, so go for the shade above. I have Organza, and that sits really well. I'll show you now. It's really very pale. So you can also use your powder puff. So get a bit on there, just give it a little slap, little flick, and then I just press it on. Where you've concealed, that's what you want to do, you want to press it on. Alan's having a dig now. And then for the rest of my face, I use the powder puff. Just a very light dusting. Oh, I want to go over the nose as well. I want to press that in because, again, I don't want to move anything. So that is my liquid, no, sorry, that's my cream foundation routine. So just to recap, cream foundation for dry skin, and it's a medium coverage, so you can have one very thin layer and have a light coverage, or you could build it up to a heavy coverage. It's a really versatile product. I hope that's been helpful. I hope the dogs haven't been too distracted. Thanks guys, bye.